Welcome back, team. Now we'll go and discuss about the one of the Terraform parameter, which is a count, team. Okay, let's go and deep dive into the count. Okay, so this is also one of the parameter which will be used very frequently in your real time. Okay, let me tell you the real time use cases for this so that you will get an idea. For example, in your real time, if you have a scenario where you want to provision multiple virtual machines, let's take a scenario. These are the multiple virtual machines, and you want to make sure you need to deploy a specific custom code into these multiple instances. Okay. For instance, I want to deploy specifically a Docker 1.17 across all the virtual machines. I want to deploy Ansible, a specific version into this virtual machine, right? And here you are, and you're sitting here. Okay, now you have a virtual machine which you are controlling at the moment. By using this virtual machine, which you are going to deploy, which you are going to provision multiple virtual machine, point number one. And also you are going to make sure some sort of custom script is being executed. Custom script means, for example, I want to install some set of softwares into these virtual machines. You want to control it, okay? And later, if you think these virtual machines of which is of no use, then you can simply execute the script again one more time. Your Terraform configuration is here, okay? Terraform destroy, obviously all these virtual machines will be destroyed. But the use case here is, the count use case here is if you want to provision the multiple virtual machines into your real-time environment. And even not only specific to the multiple virtual machines, I can add one more. Each and every virtual machine usually will be deployed on a subnet, right? So when we go for the subnet, generally the subnet will be attached definitely with a NSG, network security group. I'm just adding these things, team. Okay, NSG, where NSG consisting of some rules. Okay, you will tell, okay, this subnet, this, and for this NSG, generally you want to allow port 20. Example I'm just giving. Okay, I want to allow port 20, I want to allow port 80, I want to allow port 443. For example, even in this case also, you have a scenario where you need to set up multiple rules on the network security group, right? Inbound rules. Just assume these are inbound rules which you need to set up. These are multiple rules. Of course, usually you will look for the dynamic block. You can go for that because the dynamic block is the one which will help you to just, if you want to iterate over multiple times, obviously dynamic block will help you. But even you can solve this scenario by using count parameter also. So that is one of the another use case which you can consider. Likewise, you can get more and more when we deep dive into the discussion. Okay, so that's the part we will try to see, team. So that's the first thing which we are going to simulate now. All right. So to see this part, okay, let's go to the Visual Studio Code. So this is what our Visual Studio. I'm going to create a directory. I'm just creating a directory, VM account. Okay, that's exactly the directory I'm just considering. And as part of this particular VM count, okay, let's go there and let's simulate our part. Okay, I'm just going here. Where is this VM count? VM count. Okay, I'm just going here. Yeah, all right, team. See, this is completely empty. That's fine. So generally you know very well that, so firstly usually you will go there, you will start with the main.tf. okay, we'll build a complete code, team. Okay, main.tf. so you know that, so for the main.tf usually you will use our providers. So I'm just copying those providers and the provisioners as it is. Okay, just a providers only. I'm just taking the features block as well. That's all. Let me modify this one a bit here. And I'm just going to the main.tf under the VM directory, and especially I don't record AD and the Kubernetes. I'm taking these two out. Okay, all right, fine, team. So I just added some prerequisites as part of this one, and you know very well that, okay, you can keep this one under providers.tf also. You can talk about it, instead of telling this one as a main, you can talk this one as a providers.tf. That is also fine, team. Okay. Fine. So generally, before going for this one, I want to add one more point also as the check for you. Okay. For example, you tell me one thing, team. Today you're going there, you're provisioning this virtual machine. So you have some common code where you have in the Terraform file, in the .tf main.tf file, in the main.tf file, generally you will talk about the username, you will talk about the password, right? These two things you will talk about. So whatever the value you are setting up in the Terraform script, the same credentials will be used to authenticate this one, this one, this one, right? So that's usually the thing. But I just want to use the key-based approach instead of using some username and the password-based one, team. Okay, sorry, sorry, team. So I'm going to use a key-based approach. But how we can achieve this one? Okay. To do that, you just go to the Visual Studio Code. There I'm just going for SSH-keys in. Okay. So this is the thing generally in your Ubuntu machines. You just go to the Linux machines. You go for this one. This is an inbuilt one only. You just go there and just hit enter. It will help you to generate the key. Okay. It is just telling, okay, we are going to generate a public and private key. Okay, fine. You just proceed and override the existing one. No worries. Okay. Passphrase. Don't give anything. Just press enter. That's it. Okay, now you know what you achieved now, team. So the thing what you achieved at the moment here is you have achieved a public key and a private key. The public and private key got generated. That's the first thing which you need to keep in your mind, team. Okay, and also why and how we are going to use this public and private key you will understand slowly, but for now you just keep whatever the public key you are seeing, right? So this is what your public key. Okay, you just come here and just going there cat public key. See, now I'm seeing a public key over here. So specific to this public key, I'm going under this particular folder. I'm just and especially this public key you need to pass this public key to your virtual machine. Okay, anyway this is sitting under a .ssh id underscore rsa. I believe we can connect this one by using a file. Okay, that one we can make use. Let me show you that one also. All right, team. So firstly, I generated the public and the private key. That is the part exactly we achieved. Okay. Now I'm going to use this public key for the newly provisioned virtual machine, so that by using this private key you can authenticate. So that's the plan here. Okay, fine, team. So to do this one, what exactly we need to do? So specially, team, firstly as usual, common thing only, first and foremost thing, I'm going to refer a resource group. Okay, so to just refer the resource group, I want to refer a resource group this time in existing one. Okay, I'm just considering a resource group. I'm not provisioning any resource group. This is what the existing resource group which I'm going to touch. So to do that, you go to the resource group section. Under the resource group section, you can pick one of the existing resource group and you can play. Maybe this is also one of the use case for your real-time one, because sometimes you may not have the full access on your resource group. This technique definitely will help you. Copy that, you just go back, and especially I'm just using that particular resource group here. Fine. So you set up the resource group, that's fine. And next important thing, I just want to set up a virtual network, right? So to set up the virtual network, I think I showed you already where you need to search for. Just go to the Terraform documentation and you can search for it. See, especially under the virtual network also, team, there is a dependency on the resource group. That's what exactly we are referring. Data.azure resource group example.name. So that's the thing exactly you required. That's fine. The next one, you need to generate a subnet, correct? I'm just going there. I'm just using some code. Here also, this is just a subnet generation code. You can see this one in your Terraform documentation, same thing only. But I already explained you the virtual machine, team, in your previous part. So that is the reason I'm just going this one, just copy pasting the code. Okay, these parts you know already. That's why. And also I want to show you the example whatever I mentioned on the screen. I want to show you security group with multiple rules, at the same time multiple instances. Both I will simulate for you. Okay, so to do that, obviously you need to have the security group. Okay, just get the security group also. It's security group. Creating security group is just a name, location, and the resource group. Okay, that is what exactly you referred also. That is also fine. And the next one, interesting one here is you need to talk about the security group rules. So if you notice this one, team, see NSG security group rule 20, 80, 443. These three rules are there exactly I'm talking about. For example, if you want to talk about three rules, means obviously you need to iterate 3 times, right? So I'm going to use the count technique here. No, So to do that particular part, what exactly I'm going to do. So generally you can see in the Terraform documentation corresponding network security group code. Okay, Terraform Azure security group. Okay, so you just go for the security network security group. You just go for that. There you can see the code corresponding to that one. Okay, see, this is what exactly I'm talking about. Okay, there is a security group, there is a security group rule, so that is what exactly we are doing. Okay, so for this one also I'm going here, I'm just pasting the code, corresponding code. But here if you see, there is the exactly few things are highlighted in red. That's what you should understand. Okay, what are these things? Okay, team. So especially when you talk about this kind of var dot security group rule dot length, which returns the a total number of security groups are there, and you are iterating over count.0, count.1, two times you are iterating. So first iteration, this value will be passed, and second iteration, again these three values will be passed. So meaning that you are iterating over only three values. That's the first thing. Okay. Okay, so now let's fix this issue. Why we are getting this issue? Let's go back to variables.tf. So you need to create another file called variables.tf. Okay, let's create the variables.tf name. The specially variables.tf is the one generally which you can think about, which you can define a variable security group. I already explained the list of objects example, same case only. Okay, it's a list of objects. Okay, where you can see a set of three objects, right? These are the three objects which you are seeing, right, team? So the same thing I'm talking about. Okay, so now if you see this particular part, okay, just format this one. Okay, see, this is the list of object. I gave one example to you already with the list of objects. You can double check that. For this one, I am passing some default values. This is one object, this is another object. So port 22, port 80, two things I'm opening, 22 and port 80. These two things I'm opening. So that is the part exactly I'm highlighting for you. That's it. Now your main.tf error gone. How this works, let me explain. How count works. Var.security group rule. So where is security group rule? This is what? Var.security group rule. So now you are just going here, and also it is just counting how many values are there. 1 and 2. That's a default one, right? You will get count as 2. Two objects are there. And also if you go here, there what exactly you are doing, how you are referring the name, var.security group rule. So you will come here, var.security group rule. Okay, then followed by count.index. You know, count.index means first value dot name. Now it will come to the first object. This is what the first object and corresponding name. And if you go for the second one, again var.security group count index dot priority. It will come to the first value. Again it will come to the first object. It will take this one. First object, it will take this one. Likewise, it will iterate two times. It will iterate two times. First, it will go for the first provisioning, and again it will go for the second provisioning. So first it will go for the first, whatever the rule, port 22. For 22 will be open, and second iteration 80 will be open. So that is what exactly the things will happen there. All right. This is one of the example which I can give you for the count. Okay. And also, so once you understand somehow, okay, this particular count thing, right? Now let's move on. So you created, what are all the things you just planned so far? Virtual network over, subnet over, security group over, security group rule over. Now I'm just, all are 4 resources. These are all 4 different resources. Okay, 4 different resources. Now we will go a bit further. Generally team, when you are provisioning a Azure virtual machine, you need a, what exactly further you need? You require a public IP. Of course, we require a public IP. So how many public IPs again required? Again, you require 2 public IPs. Okay, if you come here, this is the public IP resource. Okay, you are seeing here count equal to 2. So I'm using 2 public IPs are required for me. That's the first thing which I'm just highlighting here. How this works? Always remember count.index. The same logic, count.index only. And the name you are considering a name, okay, 0-pip, 1-pip, or something like that you are referring. So you are creating a public IPs here, and also resource group with the same data one only you are referring, and allocation method dynamic. That's okay. After creating public IP, what you need to do, team? You need to attach this one to a network interface, correct? So that's the next thing which I'm just adding, network interface. Now if you see again count equal to 2, I consider. And if you see name equal to count.index, okay, meaning that your name is default. That's clear because it's your name is a dynamic one. And if you come here, specially public IP address ID. See from where you are getting this one. You are getting this value Azure public IP dot PIP count.index.id. You know what exactly? What are the public IPs you are generating here? You need to attach that public IP to the NIC card. So that's exactly the dependency which you are saying. See, you can see this one as it is in the documentation team. Okay, but what you need to understand, how I am using the count is the one you need to take it. Okay, so the count is the one which you are referring here. So to make count works, you need to have the count variable defined here. Okay, otherwise it will not work. If you take this one out, then obviously it will fail. If you go attempt also, it will fail. It will say the count is not there. Okay, this one you need to define, then only it will take first iteration, second iteration, something like that. It will proceed. All right, once you are done with this particular part team, now I am just proceeding further. Next, you know what exactly you need to do. So now I'm going to implement the interface. So whatever the interface you just generated, right? For that I'm going to attach the security group. Okay, so for the NIC card only, usually we will attach the security group. So that's the thing exactly. You can see again one more time, count equal to 2, and again network interface ID Azure network interface dot example count.index.id. So meaning that this is a network security group association. Whatever the interface which you are generating over there, you are just attaching the network security group ID also. Okay, that your network security group ID also you are just attaching it. How exactly network security group ID is generating? You can take it network security group dot example dot ID, network security group dot example dot ID. So output of this one only. ID means output of this one. Okay, so you are just attaching whatever the network security group which you are generating to your network interface. So that is the thing exactly you are achieved so far. Okay, fine. Now I am going to the virtual machine. See, each and every phase you are seeing count examples. Okay, intentionally I pulled this one to show you how exactly the count works across all the resources. Okay, and finally I'm going for the Azure virtual machine. So this one you are definitely well aware, and you can simply use this one as it is. However, okay, this is Azure virtual machine. So this is Azure virtual machine. As part of the Azure virtual machine, again I took the count equal to 2. You know, name I deferred as a count.index, my VM01, my VM02, so my VM1, my VM2. Likewise, the VM names will be generated. Okay, firstly, why error come means if you don't have the proper closing, then only it will come. Okay, all right. So then this and all normal thing only. I'm not talking about this one. Interesting one is this one. I'm using a SSH key based method. Okay, here there is a username called admin user, and there is a public key which you are using .ssh id underscore rsa .pub. So this is the public key exactly you generated just before. No, the same thing I'm using as the public key to provision, to just keep this particular public key as the provisioning part for your virtual machine. Tomorrow, if I want to log into the newly provisioned virtual machine, I will use the private key which got generated correspondingly here. This is the private key. I will use this private key to connect to the VM. Simple. So, however, username and the password you will pass it. I'm not taking that easy approach. That's why I'm just using the key based one. And finally, this is a network interface ID, which we are just telling. Okay, network interface dot example count.index dot ID count.index. So what is count.index again? The count.index means 0, 1. So again, the network interface which you are attaching to this one. And that's exactly the thing. And finally, so once you are done with this thing, you need to talk about your maybe I think there is one more component. I think it's just a computer name, I believe. So this is also one of the common thing which I can see. So you can define this parameter also. Just a moment. Yeah. So you can define that particular part also. So that is the main thing which you need to take into consideration. All right. See, now if you see this one, what you have achieved. You have achieved a virtual machine provisioning, and specially 2 virtual machines will be provisioned, and those virtual machine network security group will pass as a port 22 and port 80 opened. That's exactly the scenario which you just defined here, team. Okay. So that is the part you need to keep in your mind first and foremost thing. So how in this way exactly the count works. If you go there and just provision this one, I think definitely it will go through, and we will see if there is any issue. And also ID underscore RSA Especially this is really important to connect to your new virtual machine. That scenarios also will simulate. Okay, you just wait for a while. Let's see this provisioning first, then we will go for the user data and custom data approaches also. Okay, now once you are done with this particular part, I'm just going to the VM count. Okay, I'm just going there and Terraform init. Okay, just go there, Terraform init. I'm just giving this one. And once you are done with this particular part, sorry, I'm just coming here as part of this one. I'm just giving Terraform plan. Okay. Okay. Once that is also done, I'm just going for only Terraform apply. So objective is, I think it should generate the 2 virtual machines for us. Okay. See, total 13 resources. So meaning that everything got duplicated with multiple 2 instances. You see. So the resource provisioning is completed. Now let's go to the portal account. Okay, as part of this particular portal, I believe this is the resource group exactly you just gave. No worries, you just go to the virtual machines. Okay, you just go there and just double check. See, my VM 0, my VM 1, 2 VMs got provisioned. If you go to the my VM 0, there you can see, especially you go to the network settings. Under the network setting is the one exactly the main thing which you can consider. See, the port 22 and the port 80. So these 2 ports got opened. So that's an interesting one which you can keep in your mind. Okay, so 2 VMs present and correspondingly 2 ports open. Okay, all right, team. So that's an example, especially to use a count parameter in your real-time use cases. Thank you for the session. See you in the next part.